Hello, I hope all is progressing well. Welcome to I Don't Know, We Can Talk About It, where we discuss myriads of topics civilly, reasonably, and responsibly. My name is Kevin Dufresne. Our first topic is about DEI in connection with Title VI and educational entities having to deal with how to navigate such parameters might find more clearer, simple avenues by catering to Title VI, removing DEI labeling and programming that may conflict with what is educationally sound with ensuring individuals grow mindfully, healthfully, in the ever-progressing interdependent reality. Every situation that may arise that includes an individual of a different that includes an entity of a different, that acknowledges difference, is not necessarily of DEI. So one may understand that even assessors of what programming may look like need to approach assessing with great caution, so as not to mitigate fullness of learning well. So when any entity considers navigating Title VI in respect to the mandate, at least the current situation, which is working through many different stages, particularly legally, when one is assessing how to navigate such parameters, consider what Title VI means in connection with whatever one is doing already. There are entities that already have programming in acknowledging what forward moving is like, due to prior publishings, prior programming already breaching Title VI. Many entities have set in place programming so as to ensure individuals mindfully, healthfully grow, so as to prevent regression, to ensure individuals mindfully navigate the ever-progressing interdependent reality. So there are instances of extremism which may need attention. There are instances where one may find Title VI is experiencing a breaching. There are instances where an entity may realize whatever specific language is in effect is not necessarily even necessary to what an entity is really about, program-wise, mission-wise. So I think accessing Title VI appropriately does not mean an elimination of publications that may be of a different. And notice that pauses, one may fill in the blank of a different what exactly, of a different who, of a different why. When assessing DEI, one must navigate what entity may be navigating, particularly with DEI programming, according to language in alignment with DEI, which considers a particular period point. So one may not simply, arguably may, though, argue against prior DEI being such a broad, popular label, meaning in front of faces, with mass attention, appeal. It's important to understand what Title VI is, respecting the timeline so individuals are not just attacking unnecessarily what may already be happening anyway. Meaning, programming that has not one thing to do with DEI, though may have simply to do with acknowledging American history, to attempt to dismantle what may already be of a processing of historical progressions, anthropological progressions, name of fields, progressions in ways that are enlightening, encouraging, particularly of a field, may prove challenging for assessing how a field may grow, how a field may champion what progress has come to be, what progress looks like. Keeping a timeline, especially considering if one is simply attempting to overbreach DEI's period point of mass attention appeal, then one may find oneself having clear slates across many fields. So, embracing freedom, embracing rights, I think approaching Title VI need not cause a headache, and individuals in connection with assessment parameters of DEI programming, DEI labeling, if one will, really will need to be cautious as well, approaching how assessments are happening. Our next topic is about how an educator grows to be a CEO and assists with implementing different real-world parameters for students to grow through. The article mentions 2 programs, and I think the programs are really cool, tending to financial literacy, encouraging, embracing corporate connections, business connections, project management. And I really think being able to have such great middle grounds in the learning environment really does good service for individuals attempting to navigate education purposefully. Purposely, how does one look at one's work? How does one grow mindfully to engage with keeping a focus on connecting what one is learning with what is external to one's schooling, because education is to help one be a functioning human being, an efficient human being outside of educational parameters, even considering one may learn in any walk of life, one being able to grow so well with understandings that are a part of a world which many students may not come into contact with if not set to learn of the parameters is very, very astounding. And I find individuals navigating financial literacy, particularly, are really put in a position to acknowledge what the financial world looks like after high school. What might my parents be going through? What might whoever is in charge of finances in my life be going through, especially at this junction in life where I'm primarily going to school and doing whatever I want before I have to engage with what other financial situations I may need to be aware of for my life to grow well. What does that mean with a family? And the article brings about certain areas that allow for students to grow with these types of questions, because the article is talking about how these students face so many real life scenarios and have to consider what is going to happen, what might my decision making processing need to be if I'm considering doing certain things, even if I have a family, even if I have an item in my life. So the idea is to really engage individuals with the world that is apparent, extant outside of academia. And I really think these types of programs are really wonderful in connection with CTE as well. I think acknowledging these different ways of learning allow people to engage with how one wants to proceed with one's life in a way that is going to prove beneficial for one in more ways than one. All right, let's do some origami. So, first things first, I have a square sheet of paper here, and I'm just gonna take this paper, fold it in half first. Next, I'm gonna take one end here, one corner of this rectangle, and I'm gonna fold it. And then I'm gonna take the next portion of this rectangle, and I'm gonna fold it. Okay. So once I'm here, I'm actually gonna open this up, and I'm gonna take this fold, I'm gonna take this point, this corner here, I'm gonna bring this point here. Okay, so I'm gonna take this corner, lower left corner, I'm gonna bring it to the center where I'm just finishing up with this fold right in the center, and then I'm just gonna fold it here. All right, and the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this portion here, I'm gonna have to fold it in half here. Okay, so once you get here, then you're going to actually come in and fold it. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna actually check in with this particular area of the fold, because what you have to do here, just so you know, is when you fold it up here, then you have to fold it back. So I don't have to look it up again. So you have to fold it back actually. Okay, so once you get up here, you're gonna fold this one back here. Okay. Right, so once you get here, so you just come from this point here in this middle, you're gonna fold it up here. Then you can just fold this up here. All right, and it should just be right here. Next, you can actually connect these up here. So the next portion is you're gonna have to fold it so that these come up here. Now my sharp point here is a little perfect. And I say that because the fold in the instructions, if you look, it's not so perfect. So I'm going to have a variation, and as you can see here, mine is not a point here. So another thing to consider is how this will be when you fold it up though. Here you go. You'll just fold it like this. All right, you'll just fold it here, just like this. And then you'll see you'll have however your fold turns out, okay? Then you'll see this line here, you're just gonna rip it. You can use some scissors, or you can just rip it. Now I'm just gonna rip it with my hands. Okay. And the next thing to do is, well, open this up. So now what we're gonna have, as you can see, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a lot more than a pentagon. So we want to actually have about 5 of these. So I have a lot more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually fold this in according to the instructions. And I'm going to have, again, a variation of what's happening. So we have to fold these in. Just the little corners in, not too much. Okay, gotta fold them in. And this point is missing. So wherever you see a point, basically, on your, wherever you see a point on your form here, just fold it in. And actually mine is coming out to be a pentagon. So you can find what you're looking for here. So that's what it looks like. The next thing is, well, you're gonna have to fold it backwards. So you're gonna fold each point backward now, the in-between points. Now this is gonna get tricky for one reason, and I'll explain that later. When I explain it, you'll see why. The reason behind it getting tricky is because, well, you actually have to have the internal portions here actually have to align. So what I mean by that, let's see what this variation looks like though, is that they come in here, you'll have the pentagons here in the back. Okay, then it's gonna ask basically for your fold. So you fold it in, instead of making a variation, fold it in. And once you fold it in here, then what you have to do is you have to bend the inside. Now when you bend the inside, you're supposed to put the flap in the other flap. So again, you do this for each available side that you have. Yours will look different if you look at the instructions. I'm just going off of the instructions in mind. So actually, let's see how this might be otherwise, especially since my base was more of square than point. Okay. Alright. So then we have this here. Okay. And then we can push this one in here as well. So here, here, and then push this one in. And so basically, what you'll end up having here is not this is not the the bowl of use in the drawing, though what you'll end up having here in this artistic sense is this pentagonal shaping, a pentagonal bowl. Now, of course, we can do a way better job with being in connection with the instructions, though due to my folding earlier, this is a part of the shaping. Of course, you can redefine it. It's actually a pretty interesting looking bowl. Like, for example, if I had some chips, I could just put some chips in here and actually eat it, and it actually looks pretty cool to me from an artistic perspective. As you can see, it has a leg here. The legs here, it's like a mini table. Pretty cool design. Here's the angle I'm looking at it from. So don't knock your bowl, just see your variation. Also, the instructions will have a different bowl. The bowl will be with a bit higher walls, if one will. It'll be a little bit closer in, a little closer in. So, next, I champion reading physical books. Reading a physical book has many, many long-term benefits, literally in connection with spatial development. The brain physically changes as one reads a physical book. The book we're going to discuss today, Forrest Gump. What a book. It's hilarious. And a great form of high comedy. I feel, ensuring one is aware, the text is jarringly funny. May leave one with a pause, deep thinking after an instance. The text varies much from the film. I really appreciate the story in the book, though I do appreciate the film. The book is extremely funny to me. Yes, the book has similarities to the film, though the writing is consistent. The story is quite different, though elements are very present, which one may appreciate, which one may recognize, though the text is just so full of different aspects of being a soldier, being a human being, being an American, being of a different country, being a foreigner from America. The book is full of good writing. Again, high comedy, because as I read the text, I do find myself laughing, then again pondering of the context. And I think the author sets the character so well in the text to ensure one engages well with the story. Thank you for joining. I don't know. We can talk about it. Onward and Upward, Kevin Dufresne.